Now, enough of smelling the flowers, let's get on with this review. Right, the mats in question that deserve your attention are the all new for 2025 THERMAREST NEOLOFT and the NORTENT TORV 7. Now, if you've watched any of my videos recently, you've seen me using these extensively. This is the brown one. Yes, you guessed it. It's the all-new NORTENT TORV 7. The NEOLOFT promises to be the ultimate in car camping luxury, but in a backpackable form. The TORV 7 looks to be contending for the best all-rounder, so portable, comfortable and warm. So let's have a really good look at these mats, and then you can make your own mind up which one is for you if you are looking for a new comfortable sleeping mat in 2025 or beyond. Now, in this test I'm going to be looking at pack size and weight, the inflation and deflation method, the surface material, how comfortable it is, how kind of slippy slide it is, and plush and lovely silky feeling it is. I'm going to compare comfort and which one is more kind of like bouncy balloon like and which one gives you support. I'm going to look at side support, cost and value, and a bit of a difficult one on this test, what the warmth is like, because it's summer now, but in the coming months I'll bring you the warmth. Certainly on some cold nights recently the TORV has been comfortable, and on moderate nights the THERMAREST also has been comfortable. Now, despite me using these on different nights frequently, what I'm going to do over the next 2 nights is use them side by side intermittently, which is why I bought the NORTENT lease, so I can put these mats side by side and have a kind of proper test of them. And also in this review I'm going to get a number of my other scout leader friends to have a quick lie on these mats. I've told them nothing about them before, the brand, the price, the expectations, and they've been giving me their unbiased opinions. But you've tried them both, Will. Which one do you prefer? I prefer this one. For comfort? Yeah, okay. Much nicer. Okay, well that one is £247. That one works out about £120 with postage. So less than half the price, and that one's R7 rated. That one's 4.6, but this one is supposed to be better for heavier people. So good. Thanks, Will. So in the summary at the end, I'm going to bring you my thoughts on these mats, having used them for several nights, and then I'm going to be doing a 1-night kind of comparison where I'll be swapping over. But first I'm going to talk about all the tech specs and dimensions. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video and comment below what your favourite mat is. Just looking at dimensions, THERMAREST claim it is 15 by 29, and I think that's more like 27, so smaller than their claim dimensions. The NORTENT, they say, is 28. I make that 27. I make that 14, and they are saying 10. Maybe the way I've got it packed in this bag, so it would squish down a little bit smaller for sure. I can't quite get it the factory pack, but you know, who can with this type. So the THERMAREST comes with its own exterior bag. The NORTENT is in a bag that is also the pump sack. So just unpack the THERMAREST. Inside the bag you have a large pump sack with instructions on there. Inside there's a repair kit with some patches, some goo stuff, alcohol wipe. I actually prefer the inbuilt one because, you know, these are kind of like easy to lose if you're not careful, but THERMAREST do things for a certain way. It's a tried and tested design. Now to unpack the NORTENT, just undo this clip here. unroll the pump sack. Pull it out, that's the pad inside. I think it's definitely worth keeping hold of this elastic that comes with it, and the repair kit is just a couple of self-adhesive patches that matches the colour of the pad itself. Minimalist but sufficient. And as I said, this is a built-in pump sack with a schnozzle there, but for speed I'm going to get the electric one out. I think this will be slower because it's smaller, but you know, maybe slightly less volume as well. Now for inflation, THERMAREST have their tried and tested lock valve here, but it's slightly different on this one. This one is in only, and there's a out or dump valve here, and I found in practice this system really good. So when this is open, it doesn't let any air out, it only lets air in, and I found that this valve, when you're slipping on it, is excellent for just opening a little, letting some air out, fine-tuning it to your preference, and then sealing it up again. Really good THERMAREST. Now, the NORTENT has that double system, which is a plug that fits in with an outer, very secure outer plug. There we go. And to release air there, you can press down inside. This system works, and I haven't had a problem with it when letting air out, but you know, with a tight fit like that, these things can be a bit nerve-wracking in that, you see that's loosened there, you might pull the whole thing out. Now in practice that hasn't been the situation, and I've used this about 6 or 7 nights now. It's worked fine, but despite larger bulk, I do really like this NEOLOFT system. Okay, let's get these mats blown up. Now in that little inflation test, the THERMAREST took a minute to blow up, the TORV 38 seconds. I think it's slightly lower volume, but I think the valve for the pump has had a slightly more efficient kind of hole. Now, looking at dimensions, the THERMAREST is 11 centimeters thick, and the NORTENT is 10. This wide is 66 centimeters wide, and this large one is 198 centimeters. TORV is a tiny bit wider at supposedly 68, but I'm measuring that to be 65, so slightly smaller. Now weight wise, THERMAREST say their big one is 910 grams and the NORTENT is 740, and I've found that to be true. Now construction wise, they're calling a contour core matrix, thermally efficient air pad construction made with comfort forward materials. Now it's a little bit unlike the usual horizontal ribs of THERMAREST mats. It's got more like a kind of like baffle construction, and within that there is the usual kind of foil lining, but in this baffle arrangement. Now the NORTENT claims to have 5 layers of kind of insulation, the reflective stuff inside. I think what's going to be interesting in this bright sunshine is to try and have a look if we can see the insulation inside. So holding this up to the sun, I can't quite see the pattern of the insulation, but you can see at the top where the insulation ends and just at the side here. So it looks like those 5 layers of insulation reach all the way to the edge. Now let's just have a look at the THERMAREST, and if we look at that, now interestingly we can see the insulation here not quite so far up to the edge. Now the R value is different here. This is 4.6, whereas the TORV is over 7, and this might be kind of like part of its lesser insulation, and it looks like the raised side walls don't have the reflective core matrix inside. but I don't think this tent is I don't think this mat is about 4-season performance. It's about 3-season comfort. I'm not sure about the denier of the ThermaRest, but I do know that this stretch knit material is kind of like really comfy and plush. Exactly feels like lying on a mattress at home, and it's a very quiet mattress, so you know, I can rub the material on top there, but really not noisy at all. Right, the Torv is a 20D TPU coated, and it feels a little bit more kind of like shiny and kind of like nylon-y, but in practice it's not crumply underneath at all. The surface material's got a little bit of to it, but yeah, it's not a noisy mat when you move around. That's just the noise of the nylon on the top. In terms of out of the box comfort, the ThermaRest has definitely slightly got the edge. That is awesome at first inflate. You know, it's deep and it's plush, but the support over the whole structure isn't as good at all. The NORTENT feels a bit firm there. It requires a little bit of fine tuning in my opinion. So we'll just let a little bit out. Now that's better. With a little bit of air out, you just sink a little bit. But with the ThermaRest, there's definitely that bloom factor. That means if you put pressure in one place, another part goes up. So if you put weight on your hip, your shoulders go flying up. Now, with the NORTENT, that support is much more even. You feel like you're on a stable surface. Now, as regards edge support, with its slightly raised edge there, the ThermaRest has it, but once you fall off this big kind of bouncy castle, you're coming off. You can feel the edge of support of the NORTENT better. I'm going to let this down a little bit more. John here, one of my friends, another scout leader, has bought along this Wonderland tent. So it's an American company, really stable across the arch here. And Elliot, that you would have seen before, has got the Alp Kit Ordos 2.
Yes, with the footprint.
Ooh.
Just splashed out, you know.
Not as strong across the arch as the Wonderland, but we all know these are a lovely light tent. I've never seen one up close before these.
This one's had a bit of a beating because that pole snapped.
Oh.
On the old man of Coniston at 3 in the morning and ripped a massive hole in the tent, so that wasn't ideal.
Flipping ink.
So that's been repaired, and then when it went in for repair, they did a couple of little modifications for us and just tightened up a couple of straps and things. So
for the weight, it's certainly spacious, isn't it?
A lot. I've done quite a lot of nights on it. So
what would you say the wind was when the pole snapped, or was it just?
Oh, it was blowing a hoolie like. And it was chucking it down as well, so it was not ideal situation. I got out the tent in my underpants to try and damage control, and realised that wasn't going to work. So
you just wrap yourself up in it and stay the night then?
I just had to bail. So I just stuffed it away and then walked back to the van. I got back to the van about 7.
Wow.
So, and then slept in the van. So yeah, so it wasn't ideal.
He's the real deal, Elliot. Has he even got an Arc'teryx jacket?
And an Arc'teryx pack cube.
Oh dear. Maybe the Arc'teryx pack cube's going a bit too far. So we're going to do some objective testing. Firstly is leader John is going to give him a little try. So you can talk about initial comfort and then which one you'd like to spend the night on.
Doesn't make a lot of noise. Oh, this one doesn't feel as good. Oh no, I stand corrected once you're on it. It felt a bit flat when I was going into it, but
because you just sort of pushed into it, yeah.
But actually, once you're on, it levels out a bit.
So which one do you think you'd like to spend the night on, John, or is it kind of hard to say?
This one just feels a little bit firmer. So
Which I
would go with this one.
Okay, so less of the squishiness then.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. Thank you very much. Right, I've got a few other friends here, Strong and True, and we're going to do some objective testing. I've not told them much about these mats, and they're just going to have a go. First impressions, and then which ones they'd like to spend the night on.
The capacity?
They're pumped up to my preference, so full and then a little bit out. So this is Elliot first. And sleep in your normal position, which might be side, front, in the downward doggy position.
So actually really, really comfy to lie on. Because normally I am a side sleeper, but to sleep on my back, it's amazing.
So it's got the horizontal structure, but with cross members as well.
Oh, right.
And it's a R7 rated and 5 layers of thermal insulation. Right, on the other.
I feel like I'm on the floor there when I was sat up.
It is quite comfy, but I feel like it makes my shoulders drop quite a lot.
Oh, really?
Like,
Yeah, I know
my
what you
back's
mean.
kind of high, but my shoulders are quite...
That might be you need a change of pressure for you.
So if I went on my side...
Are you a side sleeper normally?
Oh, that is quite comfy.
Yeah, side sleeping is.
So Elliot's just mentioned that he found the orange one quite bouncy, which was my feeling as well.
It almost feels like if you roll slightly, it wants to like push you off.
Yeah, I get you, but what do you think of the plush, stretchy top? I mean, the feel of it's really nice.
The material's very, very soft.
Yeah.
It's much a nicer feel than the other mat.
I like the feel of this one more. I like the material.
But if you were in a sleeping bag, would you feel the material?
Yeah, but I feel like I wouldn't slide off it.
Yeah.
I feel like there'd be more friction with my sleeping bag.
That's a good point.
Whereas that one, I feel like with
Yeah.
my sleeping bag, I'd just be straight off it.
Well, Joel liked the orange one for the lack of slippiness, because he always slides off them, but he liked the brown one for the kind of support and comfort.
Yeah, this one's definitely like, it feels like an airbed.
Yeah.
Whereas that feels more... Yeah, it's not as fancy.
Yeah, okay. First impressions?
It's comfortable. I would say it's comfortable, but it does feel a bit bouncy. Haven't tried that one yet.
Okay.
I think this one's more comfortable. I think just because it's a bit deeper, a bit
Right.
more to it.
Yeah.
But I might just need a little bit more air in for me.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so that's been a really good test. So on the whole, people seem to prefer the support of the NORTENT. Which is your comfort test so far? You actually prefer that one? Yeah. And I can reveal to you now that this one, retail, costs £247, and this one is £100.
Wow.
And that's the R7 rated, that's just 4.6 rated. So that one's your kind of like 3-season comfort. This one is the all year rounder. So based on that, if you've got to part with your hard-earned cash, which would you buy?
The cheaper one.
NORTENT. I wouldn't.
No, that's
I
not
wouldn't
worth,
say
that's
that's
not
worth
worth
two.
that. No.
Dave, you're pretty rich. Which one would you buy, mate?
I probably would opt for the orange one.
Being pretty rich.
Having just bought one this week, I didn't go for that brand because it was expensive.
So I'm just trying the flex tail. Still on, I think, but there's no midges around here.
Yeah.
Right, that's me all tucked up, ready for bed. I'm going to do the first shift on the THERMAREST NEOLOFT. One of the first things to notice is how quickly these mats warm up. So with its plush top, the THERMAREST feels warm to the touch straight away. Not so much with the TORV 7. So that's a very nice benefit. Now, it's not a cold night, but it's going to go down to about 5 degrees in this river valley. It's been a lovely sunny day, but we'll see what the temperature feels like as we go through the night. Morning. Pretty cold night, so I've finished the night on the TORV. swapping over a few times.
So in summary, what are my final thoughts about these two pads? So firstly, the most important thing people are going to be looking for is comfort. So for comfort, I think it's going to be user preferred, really. For me, I find the THERMAREST a bit too balloony. When you first get on it, you tend to sink right through and your hip or elbow hits the ground. And then when I'm lying on it, my midsection, the kind of heaviest parts, will sink down a little bit, raising my head a little bit. So on my side, I end up like a little bit of a curve here. Now I could put more air in it, I know, but that might take away a little bit of the comfort. Top surface material, this stretchy thing, is absolutely luxurious. First impressions, the NORTENT doesn't feel quite as luxurious, but I prefer its flat, supportive lie. But with either of these mats, I haven't woken up with a painful shoulder. I've got a dodgy shoulder this side, damaged mountain biking years ago, and that tends to be the first thing that goes in the night. And I've been okay on both of them, not waking up with a numb arm, anything like that. The material feels kind of like quite tough and nowhere near as plush and as nice as the THERMAREST, but you know, at the same time it kind of feels functional. Warmth wise, I've found that when you initially get on the THERMAREST, to touch and the initial contact feels pretty warm, it's okay, but having been on there kind of like 2 or 3 hours, you can feel more coolness coming through from the ground, whereas the NORTENT tends to feel cold to the touch. That's the nature of this kind of like material, but then over the longer period it tends to feel warmer. But of course this is R rated 4.6 and this is R rated 7, so that kind of makes sense really. So in terms of value for money, it has to be in the NORTENT at the moment. So this list price is $119. The THERMAREST is £240 thereabouts. So posted, this will cost you around £120, and this around £220 to £247. So the THERMAREST is definitely a premium product, and of course you've got the reputation and the warranty of THERMAREST. Of course the NORTENT has the reputation of the company behind it, but this is their first foray into mats. Of the 7 or 8 nights now I've used it, the durability seems good. There's no reason why I would tend to think the durability would be anything other than good, but it's an unknown for the future. I'm sure if there were any issues, NORTENT would completely honour any warranty. Now, NORTENT have done this mat because they want to offer a complete solution for their customers. So we know they are already doing some great tents. They've got some superb sleeping bags, amongst the best I've ever used, and now with their mat offering, even matching the kind of colour schemes, they want to do the kind of complete package to ensure the user gets the best possible experience. And of course THERMAREST are doing what they know best and have a great reputation for. So the end user of these will be the person that probably buys on kind of like company reputation and what the marketing says. The THERMAREST is a great mat, but for me, the best all-rounder and value for money is the NORTENT TORV 7 mat. I'll put a link below to where you can buy both of these, and the ultimate test for the NORTENT for me won't happen for about 6 months, because I'm looking for a new warmer mat. The THERMAREST NXT Max is my warmest mat, and that's been excellent, and that's going to be my go-to winter mat, unless the NORTENT, which I feel is more comfortable than the THERMAREST winter mat, proves to be a warmer mat, because I feel kind of comfort-wise the THERMAREST NXT Max isn't great. The better mat for me has been the Nemo Tensor Extreme I've been using, but I found it cold, disappointingly so. I don't think it matches the manufacturer's R rating. So yeah, kind of like, thanks for watching. I've come up here into this beautiful woodland because all the scouts are at camp now on this weekend I'm helping to run. They've had a good day's hiking today. I've been doing the organisation, backup, water, checkpoint, stuff like that. So they're all noisy now, so I've come up to this bluebell wood to finish the video where it's nice and quiet, and I've got another night's camping tonight. I might do some more swapping over from mat to mat just to make sure, but last night I tended to feel comfortable more on the NORTENT. The THERMAREST, I got to sleep nicely, it felt lovely, but that flat lie on that slightly had the edge for me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see what happens with these mats in the future.